I think the opportunity is actually in the challenges. So one of the challenges from the gate was having this big vision that included a capital project, include a for-profit business, as well as launching a nonprofit. And in retrospect, I understand how it was even more enormous than I understood it to be even then. And so there were a lot of folks who were excited about it. This was innovative. Wow, great idea. Why didn't someone think of this, sooner? But didn't really want to invest the dollars at a sort of a venture philanthropy or venture capital even frame. It was kind of like, great, come back to us 3 years from now after you've done some programming, or great, can you do this in a smaller way? I got tired of trying to sell the concept of the organization. I wanted to actually get on with the mission. And so one of the things I had to think about was, how can we still launch our programs? How can we still do this public artist residency even if we don't have this space? And so it made us think about this model of working with existing laundromats, which meant that we now are in every borough. That wasn't the original vision. We were going to have one location in one neighborhood. So that challenge became an opportunity to think differently about our work, and has paid off, and that we now can have a much greater impact much sooner than if we had just had a single address. That is still true now. So here we've, kind of done a proof of concept and launched our programs, and begun to see that there's a real need, or not that there's a real need, we knew that, but that there's a genuine response. The challenge for us right now is, how do we scale up to the next level? And we're not talking about growing gigantically, but going from being a scrappy startup to really having the money to staff the organization at the level that is appropriate to be effective, not just to do what we want to do, but to be effective, to actually offer programs where we're creating genuine relationships with the folks that we are creating these programs for and with, to do this work well. And so that is our challenge, and again, is our opportunity. So it means now taking stock of not just who we thought we wanted to be, but really looking at who we are, how we actually crafted these programs, how they've actually implemented. So what are the new opportunities that those programs present that weren't on the radar at the organization's inception? It means that because we have begun this work, we now have this whole beautiful army of thoughtful, incredible, creative people who can add input to that, who can say, this is what's really working, and this is what I would suggest that you do differently, or hey, do you even know how you might tap into this thing over here that wouldn't have been on the radar of just one person if I had been a one-woman show? And I think that those challenges aren't necessarily unique. I think that is sort of inherent to the startup process, is that you have a vision, you set out a plan, your plan should be rigorous, but you have to, the plan is a framework. You still have to be nimble, you still have to be responsive, you still have to be willing to be in the moment and responding to the reality of what is actually possible at that moment, and allowing the work to take you in a slightly different direction, which is different from Mission Drift, but it's just about being a learning institution. I think that's what we are.